Yo, you want to see something cool? No? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Think about American cowboys. Boots, burgers, and blue jeans. Doesn't become more American than that. But the same brands that built their empire from the backs of our farmers, welders, and ranchers now build their profits off cheap foreign labor and imported food. Welcome back to the Backyard Republic. It's going to be a bit of a rant, folks. Saw a commercial for Ariat, and I started thinking, I thought Ariat was made here in America. It's an American company, is what everybody says. American company. Harley Davidson, American company. Sure, it's owned in America, manufactured China. Same thing with Ariat boots, China and Mexico. We're living in a country where a cowboy is a costume. The ranch is a logo, and the people who actually build it are watching their livelihoods shipped overseas in cardboard boxes marked with Patriot Approved. Let's talk about the great betrayal, the Made in America lie. Remember when Sam Walton was alive? Walmart, everything was made in America. Walmart. Sam died. His kids took over. Shit hit the fan. Now nothing's made in America at Walmart. It's all China. All Mexico, Guatemala. Ariat boots, Levi's, Carhartt, Harley Davidson. All those are symbolic of American toughness. The American West, the American hard work, blue collar guy. All of it. Every one of them wrapped up in red, white, and blue branding, built somewhere else. Ariat designed in California, made in Mexico and China. Levi's closed its last plant 22 years ago here in the U.S. Now it's sewn in Bangladesh and Vietnam and Pakistan, where workers earn $1.25 an hour. An hour. Carhartt outsourced after NAFTA. That's Bill Clinton's thing. Remember the North American Free Trade Agreement? The only one that gets free trade is countries that are trading with America, where America's goods are taxed and tariffed. Harley Davidson, the American icon of freedom and liberty and muscle and manlyhood, American manlyhood. They built new factories in Thailand, cutting jobs in Missouri. They cut the throats of Americans for profit for an American company who sells itself as American made. Now here locally, we can look at Eastman. They built a acetate fiber plant in Wuhan, China, a few years back. Built that plant in China, killed 1,100 jobs here locally. Said, we replaced them with 300 high-paying jobs. No, they didn't. They didn't replace them with 300 high-paying jobs. It's not like they created 300 more jobs. They moved these people from Texas. They were already employed from Eastman. They moved them here. So we lost 1,100 jobs, and then they imported 300 people from Texas. Nothing wrong with people from Texas. But don't sit there and piss down my back and tell me it's raining. They outsourced 1,100 jobs to China. They outsourced every call center to India. Everyone. They sell freedom, but manufacturers' dependence on the flag on the box. But it's the yuan is the paper it's written on. It's Chinese currency. You can't slap a bald eagle on the box that's made in China and call it freedom. When Trump came out with his MAGA hats, that pissed me off. He started talking about it needs to be made in America. My hats are made in China. That made me mad. I didn't buy one. Now let's talk about the cattle cartels. It's important. We have the best beef in the world and the best ranchers in the world in America, without a doubt. Americans eat about 58 pounds of beef per year per person. 58 pounds. Over 2.5 billion pounds of that comes from Brazil, Uruguay, Canada, and even Namibia. Who's ever heard of Namibia beef? Brazilian beef, sure. Canada, that might as well be America. But still, it's not American ranchers. That's not money that's going in Americans' pockets. That's what the whole problem is. You have 3 companies that aren't American companies that control the price of beef inside of America. And what they're doing is that they're cutting our ranchers out by not paying them a fair share, and they're using their 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 beef from their country, like in Brazil, lower quality beef. It's not USDA inspected. They don't do that. They don't hold their ranchers the same standard as the United States government holds our ranchers the same standard. That's why they're able to get it cheaper. That's why they can ship it up here, process it here in America. But it's not American beef. We don't know what they're feeding those cows and stuff down there. But we know what they're feeding the cows and stuff here in America because the government regulates it. And thanks to a labeling loophole, that foreign beef is repackaged in America and it's a product of America, product of the United States, of the USA. It's because it's packaged and processed here. The beef's not from here. So just say the steak you're growing might have been grazed in a deforested Brazilian pasture or over in Europe, wherever Namibia is. Is that in Africa? Is that in Africa, Fiona?
Zambia?
No, Namibia. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it's boxed in Kansas. So they call it Kansas. They put a red, white, and blue sticker on it. And Kansas beef. Because that's where they processed it. Meanwhile, the corporations control 85% of the U.S. beef market. 85% of the U.S. beef market is corporations. And guess who's at that corporation? Who's leading those corporations? That same name. BlackRock, Vanguard, Larry Fink. How many times? I'm not picking on Larry Fink. He's got his greedy little hands in everything. Healthcare, food, clothing, everything. BlackRock has their hands in. You can't be worth $10 trillion and not. Since 2017, over 17,000 American ranchers have to shut down. 17,000. Not even 10 years. We used to export beef, and now we import it. I just never understood that. We're in a country that we can produce absolutely everything we need to survive. Why in the heck are we importing shit other than like cars? Because honestly, the quality of cars that we make here in America is shit. Chevrolet, a $70,000 truck, you might as well just buy a Kia. If you want a good car, you're gonna buy Japanese. You're gonna buy Honda, Toyota. If you can afford it, you're gonna get something German, but Volkswagen or Mercedes. American cars are trash. The American auto industry is trash. You go back 40 years ago, you could buy a steel car for $3,000. All of it's steel, and be safe in that car. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever. And now all of a sudden, cars are made out of plastic, and you're paying $90,000 to Kia for a minivan because it has cameras. It's made out of plastic and fiberglass and carbon fiber. You're paying for technology that you don't need just because, I got cameras everywhere. So the average American farmer, he's 59 years old. That's not sustainability. That's extinction. 59, imagine 60 years old, and you're out there running a combine for hours trying to get your corn in so you can get it to the market, just to get the price cut from underneath you, because they've imported metric tonnage of shit over here from other countries that they've used slave labor to harvest it. So over 40 years, we've lost nearly half of our farms. More than 400 family farms every week closing their gates for good. You got asshats like Bill Gates that's buying up farmland and not growing anything on it. You have BlackRock and banks. Why does a bank need to own a farm? Why does a bank need to own farmland? It's because these banks invest in food, invest in seeds, they regulate, and they pay farmers not to grow food. Well, that's what they used to do. Now they just buy them out or foreclose on them, and they don't grow food. That way they can regulate the price of food that comes in. Well, there's a shortage. Well, there's a shortage is because you're not growing it. Banks don't grow food. Banks don't raise cattle. They regulate the price of it. And they manipulate the price of it. This small farmers, small ranchers, they're disappearing. Global investors are buying everything, all the land beneath the boots. Chinese companies own 383 acres of U.S. farmland. 83,000 acres 83,000 acres of U.S. farmland. Why does China own land? Why does China own anything that I pay for, that we pay taxes on? I don't like that. They own land next to all of our military bases. That's 300% since 2000. It's up 300% since 2010. You could add the Saudi investment firms and Bill Gates. I said like 270,000 acres, and the breadbasket of the world looks like a portfolio now, a corporate portfolio. Nothing being raised in it, nothing being grown in it. So that leaves us subsidizing farmers just so they can stay alive. Washington subsidizes soy export to China, beef back from Brazil. It's sold as an innovation. It's not. It's not. It's killing our food industry here. We're becoming dependent on other countries to feed us, and we're the most abundant. We have the most abundant, diverse land in the world to grow crops. We can grow anything: tropical fruit, to corn, wheat, rice, alfalfa. Name it. What can we not grow? We can raise anything: goats, sheep, pigs, cattle, everything. The end game's not about products, it's about power. Control the food, you control the people. I've said that for decades. My kids, they know it because I've said it to them. They roll their eyes and there's dad again going on about this stuff. Outsourcing manufacturing. My granddaddy worked at J.P. Stevens for 40 years, 40 plus years. He retired. They paid him a pension and gave him a watch when he retired. Then a guy bought J.P. Stevens out. Then he decided he's going to outsource all this shit to another country. Shut the doors over a weekend, didn't pay anybody. He was from North Carolina. They call it free trade, and what it just means is free reign. America gets screwed in the end. Americans get screwed in the end with all this stuff. We're having to pay inflated prices because you have beef companies raising the prices because they control it. They have to make their money of shipping that stuff over here, or we can go to our local butcher. Here's the thing. We don't need $1 billion trade deals to dress like Americans or eat like Americans. That's what we need to do is buy American. That's it. The guys you know. So support your local butchers, small farms, that's in your area, born and raised in the process of the United States. And those made in the PRC, brands like Patriotism, ain't marketing strategy. Freedom ain't free, and it damn sure ain't imported. I can tell you that, but don't lose heart. There's still some real ones out there. The hands that never left the soil, the shops that's never outsourced their soul, boots that still mean something. Anderson Bean, it's a handcrafted boot in Texas. It's the Rios of Mercedes, I guess. But it's made in Texas. You got Nick's boots, White's boots, all still in Spokane, Washington. It's and a Marine that owns that shop. Marines that run it, they employ veterans, have their own cotton mill. And everybody, I've grown up, everybody wanted Levi's. Well, some got Lee's. Oh, it wasn't good enough. I remember middle school, you got a pair of Lee's. It's not Levi's. Everybody go to the county seat to get Levi's. Now Levi's is made in Guatemala or Bangladesh. And what do you see quality-wise from Levi's? It's not there. It's not like it used to be. So you got Roundhouse Jeans in Oklahoma. That's American-made denim. Texas Jeans in North Carolina. That's odd. Scholastic Carolina Mills still cutting their own clothes in North Carolina. L.C. King Manufacturing in Bristol, Tennessee. I think that's closed now, isn't it? That used to be Bristol Jeans. That's been closed for a minute. And you have an American Giant. It's in California and North Carolina. It's got its own mills. No imports, no excuses. They make their own clothes. You got gear. You got Red Ox in Montana, and they have bags and packs. Hank's Belts. It's in Pennsylvania. It's an American leather company. American brands. Atlas 46. Missouri tactical and work gear made for builders, not boardrooms. And Darn Tough, Vermont. It's two brands of toughness that doesn't need outsourcing. And then we're going to come up to Harley. Biggest disappointment. I always wanted a Harley. I had a Harley. I got a buddy. That's all he wants to ride is Harleys. I don't want to ride Chinese shit. I'll ride a Jap bike. but I don't want to. I don't want to write anything in China. China is the mortal enemy of the United States. So what's the alternative? It's this. It's the same alternative it's been since 1901. Indian motorcycle. Still, it's still designed and assembled and powered in the United States. The engines are from Wisconsin, and the bikes are assembled in Iowa. So, and then look at our food here. How much of their stuff is actually processed here or processed in Mexico? You got White Oak Pastures in Georgia. It's family run. It's all American beef. U.S. Wellness Meats. It's in Missouri. Texas Beef House. Local cattle, local processing, no no gimmicks, and the beef initiative. It connects you to ranchers throughout the country that you can buy directly from them. These are the people that stayed the course, that kept their hands in the soil, that kept feeding the family, kept feeding its local people, men and women that never traded the sweat for stock options. It's the back. These people are the backbone of America. And corporate greed and your 401k has pushed them to the side. We still have the blueprint. We can get back to that. We can get back to America being Americans, made in America, where it meant something, where it stood for something, where there was quality involved. And rebuild this republic one stitch at a time, one stake at a time, and one still horse at a time. This is the backyard republic. Sure, the dirt's real, the grit's earned, and the truth don't come with a barcode. The heartland ain't dead. It's just been buried underneath corporate logos and globalized. It's still beating. Every time a farmer plants another seed, every time a rancher refuses to sell, every time someone checks the tag and says, made here, not all, the Republic breathes again. Stay loud, stay lit, keep your boots and your bikes dirty wherever they're really made.